Before we start the video today, please make sure you share this video, please subscribe, and please make sure you hit the bell notification so that you are alerted with the newest video. I have a serious question to ask everybody out there today, and I want you to please comment below. I'm very curious to what you have to say about this and your answer to this question. A lot of people write me and say that I need to get out of the state of California, and they're probably right. I probably do. My question is, where should I go? If I leave the state of California, where do I go? What are your recommendations? Comment down below the states, the city, the town that you recommend that I move to. It's really a sad state of affairs. I've spent half my life, actually more than half my life here in California, and to see what has happened over the last few years here in California, the decay and the erosion of the quality of life here in California. And I know that California is not the only state with these problems, but there are many problems here flooding this state. One of them being the homeless crisis, which continues to grow every year. We have a homeless epidemic, a homeless crisis taking place here in the state of California, whether that be in San Francisco, LA, right out here in Riverside County. There are tent cities all over the place. There are tent cities minutes from my house, and they seem to be popping up on a weekly basis. But anytime I go to a gas station, I'm accosted by homeless people wanting money. I see the drug epidemic out here in Southern California. And it is really, really a shame, because I remember how beautiful parts of Orange County were, and definitely how beautiful the Palm Springs area was. Now I cannot say that. I see crime going through the roof out here in the Palm Springs area. I see more graffiti than I've ever seen before, more homelessness than I've ever seen before, and more poverty. And there is a noticeable difference from today and 10 years ago with the amount of trash you see along the freeways, the abandoned cars. There is a big difference from the standard of living that I'm witnessing now to 10 years ago. There's been a big change. And so many people are leaving the state of California, and am I going to be one of them? Quite possibly. And again, I'm asking you for your recommendations. And what about the people out there watching this who are kind of in the same boat here, but you may live in a different state, but you're seeing the same issues in your state? Many of our states are broken, they're bankrupt, and have major problems. You may be living in, Illinois, in the city of Chicago, where you have a major gang epidemic, drug epidemic, major taxation. I mean, there are definitely multiple states in our country, many, 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 that have major problems that people are going to get out of and are getting out of right now, moving to other places. So where do we go? Is it Nevada? Is it Arizona? Is it Texas? What do you think? Tell me, please. But a couple more issues that I have here with California. Again, taxation. Taxes are high here in California, and they're not going to be getting lower anytime soon. Gas prices are going through the roof. I think up in Northern California now, they're probably exceeding $5. Here in Riverside County, they're around $4. I was in other parts of Riverside County yesterday. They were over $4, about $4.12, $4.15. And it's probably going to continue to go up, and they will probably continue to pass more gas taxes so that we can pay for people that shouldn't be here. This state is very controlled by Silicon Valley and Hollywood, and basically this state is a sanctuary state. I have multiple sanctuary cities near my house here, and it continues to just be a problem for the entire valley out here, these cities that allow anybody in, because it brings in criminals, it brings in drugs, it brings in more homelessness, and the outlying cities, or the cities that are next door to these sanctuary cities, are paying a huge price with crime, because it is flowing over into their cities. The homelessness problem flows over into their cities. You name it, it overflows. so many people are leaving the state of California, but you would never be able to tell that when you drive out on the freeway, because the freeways continue to be busy, jam-packed. If you live in Riverside and you're driving to Orange County, it easily could be a 2-hour drive, which normally would take less than a half hour. But the freeways are inundated with people. But even though tons of people are leaving California, they're just being replaced by people coming into the state into the country illegally. And so we're getting a surge of immigrants, while the taxpayers, the people that are working middle-class jobs and upper middle-class jobs are leaving. So, the writing is on the wall, what is going to happen to this state, and it is a state that is not heading in a positive direction. It's a state that is going to go bankrupt, and it's going to be a state that is basically going to be socialized. And now everybody is trying to get out of it, and hopefully you don't live in a city that's being inundated with Californians who are going to vote and ruin your city or your state. It's amazing how so many people want this, but as soon as it starts affecting them, when the homeless people and the crime starts affecting them, they're the first ones to sell and get out and go somewhere else so they can come to your state and ruin it. Now that we have Gavin Newsom as our governor, he has repealed the death penalty. Now, that psychopath who committed these atrocities in San Diego a few days ago, he'll never be charged with the death penalty because we have a governor who repealed the death penalty, Gavin Newsom. And the people of California continue to have their gun rights taken away, and we're going to see even more severe gun laws passed here in California, more gun restrictions. And it is a state where you certainly do not feel free. Between the taxation, the government control, the gun laws, etc., you certainly are not living the California dream. As most of you know, I believe very serious things are coming to America. And it's another reason why I'm really considering at some point getting out of the state of California. Where is a better, safer place to be where I'm going to be more free, have more rights? I mean, there are serious things coming to this country. I'm reading an article today on consumer spending. I want to go over this with you. I mean, these are reasons why I think all of us really have to protect ourselves, whether that be living in a different state, a different town, whatever it might be. We really got to think seriously about what's coming and putting ourselves in the best environment to deal with these things. Consumer spending rose 0.9% in March. Incomes grew only 0.1% in March. Inflation rose 0.2% in March. So that was a really big increase in consumer spending. The question is, how much of this consumer spending was done with debt? How many people used a credit card in order to go out and spend? Credit card balances rose $3 billion in February. This now totals $1.06 billion of credit card debt. Consumer debt is now $4.05 trillion. Consumer debt rose $15.2 billion just in February. So are things financially getting better in most people's lives? I don't think so. Are things getting better here in America financially? Absolutely not. Here's another one. This is a really scary article here, and this is on SHTF plan. Food crisis alert, United States. Personal income of farmers declined by an annualized $11.8 billion between January and March, the biggest first quarter drop in 3 years. This is blamed on trade disputes, commodity prices, and the flooding that took place in the Midwest. And this is going to affect every one of us. American farmers are living through the worst economic crisis in 30 years with no end in sight. This plays a huge role in everyone's life because we're talking about the cost of fruits, vegetables, poultry, pork, meat, and the availability. And here's another question after reading this article is, if we have a serious food crisis like what we're starting to see right now, we're going to see prices soaring. You're already seeing prices soar at the grocery store. When they say there's no inflation, that's a bunch of BS. and you're going to see major inflation taking place. Look at oil prices and look at food prices. It's happening right now. But we're talking about a food crisis where it's going to be more expensive and harder to have availability to certain products. Yet we're taking in people from all over the world. They're coming in. How are these people going to support themselves? What are they going to eat? What kind of jobs will they get? We know that technology and AI is going to replace so many types of menial jobs. What are these people going to do? Like most people right now, we have over 100 million people who are not working in this country. Now, many are senior citizens or too young, but still, a third of this country basically does not work. And what happens when this recession hits in and less people are working? What are these people all going to do here? What are they going to eat? Who's going to support them? What kind of jobs are they going to be doing? What is going to happen if we continue to allow this to happen in America? Zero hedge today. U.S. home price growth slowest since 2012. The slowdown in the U.S. housing market is accelerating. And let me be clear here. I'm not talking about just California. I'm talking about the U.S. housing market, the entire nation. We are witnessing a slowdown, and the slowdown is accelerating. Case-Shiller did a 20-city composite. They found that it grew at just 3% year over year in January. This is the weakest annual growth since 2012. At the national level, home prices grew at just 4%. This is the smallest gain since 2012. Things should be booming right now. Again, we talk about wage growth. We talk about the lowest unemployment. We talk about the growing GDP. We should be witnessing record-breaking sales growth right now, and we are seeing the opposite. So ask yourself a real question. What is going on here? What people are telling you, what the media is telling you is not true. And this is another reason why you must be getting prepared, because we're not going to be able to prevent a financial collapse, but you have to do the best that you can do to prevent your own financial collapse. So get out of debt, put some cash away, buy some tangible assets. And again, people just say they don't have the money. Work an extra day, work a couple extra hours, cut out the Starbucks. People have to make sacrifices. I make sacrifices. There's things that I would love to do that I can't do because I've got to make sacrifices and I've got to prepare, whether that's buying some gold or some silver or some food or some training or adding to security or just having an emergency fund put away. So, maybe I don't go out to eat as much. I certainly will never go to Starbucks. But for the people that do, I'm not judging you, but maybe you need to cut down, a mocha here or a mocha there and put a little bit of money away, because I think it's a terrible excuse when people say that they have no money and they just can't do it. You have to find a way to do it, whether you sacrifice, whether you work harder, whether you work a little longer, or you just have to cut something out of your life. You got to do what you have to do, but we all have to make sacrifices. Another article here. This one is on Wolf Street, and it's titled "The Most Splendid Housing Bubble in America, April Update." Condo prices fall year over year in New York, San Francisco, Southern Cal, Seattle. Year over year, price gains shrink to nearly nothing. Despite the hype, Boston prices continue to deteriorate. For the last couple of years, the luxury market throughout the country has been slumping. There was a report done by appraiser Miller Samuel Real Estate Appraisers and Consultants that confirms that lavish vacation homes in New York's Hamptons remained under pressure during the first quarter of 2019. Sales declined to the lowest level in years. Some of the hardest hit markets were Manhattan, Greenwich, the Hamptons, and of course, multiple cities here in California. We have more problems. Global semiconductor sales dropped 15.5% in the first quarter of 2019. Demand in the United States was down 29.2%. Demand in China was down 14.5%. China was down negative 13.8%. Demand in Asia was down 10.4%, and demand in Europe was down 3.1%. So it's not just a U.S. slowdown, it is a global slowdown. And this thing is just beginning. And it's getting harder and harder for the media and for the government to hide what is going on here. For myself, I can just go out and take a drive around and I can see what is happening. I can see the erosion and the quality of life in many neighborhoods, in many cities. I can see the decay of the retail industry because half of it is vacant and gone. I can easily see, as I was driving through a town today, 3, 4, 5 cars in a driveway. So I can see what is going on here, and I can see it on people's faces, just like you guys can. When you go out, you just see people, they don't look happy. Many people look unhealthy, and many people look worried, and they should be worried because we have serious bad times coming to America. This is another article on Zero Hedge today. Chicago PMI crashes. This is the biggest 2-month drop in 5 years. So things are slowing down. Production, manufacturing is slowing down. So I'm going to go back to what I started with. Please comment below. What are my options if I'm looking to get out of California? What are your favorite states? Maybe you live in one. Maybe you live in a crappy state. Let us know why you don't like it, what the issues are, and let us know why you like the state that you're in. You might love the state that you're in. I have friends in Texas. They love Texas. They love the state of Texas. Tell me why you love your state and why I should move there. I'm going to close it on this. We have a financial crisis that has already started here in America. It cannot stop. The genie is out of the bottle. Make sure that you get prepared. We cannot stop what is happening. We are not going to stop the collapse. We're not going to stop this crisis. It's impossible. All we can do is control our own crisis and get our own financial crisis under control. Get our debts paid down, get them managed, have an emergency fund, put some assets away, top off your preps, take care of your security, put some cash away, whatever you have to do. These are just some of the things that I'm doing, and I'm certainly not a professional prepper by any means, but I'm just speaking out loud, sharing with you what I'm doing. And I love reading the comments because there's so many intelligent people out there that have wonderful ideas that we all learn from. So please comment below also how you're prepping. What are the most important preps? Mine, in my opinion, is security. Above all, have security. But let me know what you think. What are your 1, 2, and 3 most important preps? If you're on a budget, the person on a budget, what do you think that person should be putting their money in right now, preparing? This collapse hasn't happened yet, but it's going to. And every day is a day to get ready for it. And for the people who are watching this who aren't prepared or who are on the fence, all I can say is, look, I worry the most about people like you, the unprepared. I'm not going to feel sorry for anybody because there have been too many warning signs. But if you're watching this, I am concerned for you. I worry about people like you. This is your opportunity to wake up and do something. Prepare, get ready. Because if you're a minute late to this event, it's too late. I'd rather be a year, 2 years, or 10 years early. A second late, you're going to be living in a nightmare. So get ready, get prepared, stop following the herd, detach from the matrix, and start being an independent, free-thinking human being and start really thinking for yourself. There is just something very enlightening about being an independent human being and being less reliant on the government, less reliant on help, just makes you a stronger, better person. And there's just something really enlightening about that, where you're not reliant on other people. You're not reliant on the government. You can take care of yourself, take care of your family. There's just something to really say about that. So guys, I'm going to close it right there. I'm going to leave it right there. Please comment below. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. And by all means, share this video. Pray for this president. Pray for this country. We are heading into very, very dark times. I cannot repeat this enough. Get prepared. Get ready. It's sunny outside. It's a nice sunny day. But you know what? There is a dark storm coming to America.